Hi there, card makers. Today I'm going to make a card for the Rockin' Rebel 2 contest at the Greeting Farm. The headline from the 1st of May said something about Rebel Yell, and that made me think about Billy Idol and his record from 1984. I've got a CD here to show you a picture of him. If you don't know who he is, I mean, Billy is a British punk rock star, and as you might have understood already, I'm all for everything British. And the first song I heard of him was, I think, the Eyes Without a Face title, and from that day forward I have been a fan of his. And the title song Rebel Yell became a hit, at least in my book. And as for two other hits from the same record, they were called Flesh for Fantasy and Catch My Fall. And if you listen carefully, Rebel Yell is playing in the background right now. And in 1986 he released another album called Whiplash Smile, and I just can't help loving the following songs: To Be a Lover, Sweet 16 and Don't Need a Gun. And I also remembered the fantastic song White Wedding. I mean, that one is just magnificent. And we mustn't forget about the catchy tune Dancing With Myself from 1981, but then he was still part of the punk band Generation X. Well, enough said about Billy Idol. Last night I wanted to make a card with Punk Chibi as a center figure, a digital stamp from the Greeting Farm. I had her printed out ready, and just all I had to do was to color her. And I started off by coloring a plaid skirt with green and some gold. And then I continued coloring her hair, and I tried to make different kinds of highlights and colors work with her. And after that I just finished it off with some stickles. And having had my brain working for a while, I found a way to actually make both this chibi punk figure and Billy Idol work for a card. Instead of making a card with a boy punk rock star, I decided to make use of this one. And instead of calling this figure Billy as a guy, I just decided to call her Billie with an I and E in the end instead of a Y. And I was quite happy to actually have come to that idea. And I also wanted to make the Punk Chibi stamp work with some of the Tim Holtz stamps. And therefore I have started off by stamping this big harlequin stamp as a background to the front of the card. And first off I actually made it in black and white, but having tried it out with the different kinds of text and letters I've got going on here, it didn't work out for me, so I'm just skipping that for now. So I decided I'm going on something green. And having seen the way Billy Idol has his name written on his records, I mean, if you look at this one, Idol in the background and Billy in the front. So I was thinking of actually making use of these letters from Tim Holtz. He's got a lovely big stamp with a lot of alphabet, with the complete alphabet. It looks like this. And I stamped it in red, and I just felt like incorporating it with the green here. And Billy I'm going to put on top here. And these small letters actually come from a very handy alphabet set, and these are wood-mounted stamps, and I just love these. I mean, I've used these a lot on my projects, so they're just so great. So now I think it's time to actually start gluing things down, and I'm using a piece of corrugated paper here just to make a sort of rough look. And I'm not going to ink the edges of this one because I have been inking quite a lot on the other parts. So I'm hoping for a good fit there. And I have actually roughed up the edges with an edge scraper here, and then I have just scraped the edges with some black ink. And this is actually my favorite method to work with things. I want to make things look sort of torn and old looking. And even if I don't always work in the brown colors, anyway want to make this rough look work. So I'll just continue working with these for a couple of minutes, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I'm also going to put a piece of corrugated paper at the top, and that is just to give it some definition. I'm also going to use a piece of green paper here, just to make those letters pop even more from the background. And I'm just going to glue this one down like so. So as it comes for the idol word, Billy Idol, I mean just Billy Idol, do you imagine that? I mean, I just love playing with words and having fun, really. So here we go. Just going to put that one there, and I like it when it's not even, and when things are happening underneath and by the side and everything. So I'm trying to make this go quite straight, because the Billy word otherwise I think is going to be just a little bit too hard to read. So I'm hoping for the best here. I mean, these letters aren't that big that I could actually have put these, the word Billy at the center, so I just felt like putting them on the top like so. So we've got the Billy and the Idol down there. And last weekend when I was at a card making marathon, I had somebody telling me that she liked actually the way that I made my cards. I have made a couple of cards with the song titles. I mean, for one there was this Rockstar Anja or something, and there was the title When Will I Be Famous, and with that one I was actually referring to the Bros song. And this time I'm going to make the Billy Idol theme work completely, so I had to think out some kind of a good title for this card. So I went for different kinds of themes. I mean, I have already told you some of them, and guess what? This card is going to be called Sweet 16. Because if you look at this Punk Chibi, I mean, she isn't that tough or rock and rolly. I mean, she's quite cute and sweet, isn't she? So I'm thinking that Sweet 16 could be quite a nice title for this card. And I'm just going to place her like so. Just look, I love that hair. Big hair and big hair. And so I have prepared this one. I have cut out this the number 16 from the Blossom quick cuts, and then I'm going to put the Sweet 16, the sweet word, just on top of it, or over it. And just bear with me. It could be that I'm actually going to show you in another video how I'm going to make that text work in this card. I've tried out something different, and I'm sure I won't be able to make it in the rest of the 2 minutes. So I think I'll just try and complete this as far as I can, and then I'll just make a pause and start all over again. And this is quite a fun card, I must say. I mean, sometimes ideas don't come that easily, but when they do come, I'm really happy about it. So sweet, I mean, I can't even spell the word right now. I think that the S should be like this. Sweet 16. And I'm all for keeping things askew. I'm not that good at keeping things straight, so I might as well put them askew from the start, I think. I mean, that sort of increases the interest for the card, I think, and I think it's, well, it's sort of more like me, because I'm not that a tidier person or that straight either. And by that I'm not talking about anything sexual. Well, I'm stopping right now. Bye bye.